Legion Tactical Cutlery.
Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Grugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back once again, troops, legionnaires, new recruits. And as always, really appreciate you all taking your time to check out my channel and my videos. Today we got a fighting knife, man. This thing is awesome. And I am excited to bring this to you. I'm going to test it out my way, see how it performs. But man, oh man, this is one of the nicest fighting knives from Sitivien that they've ever come up with. It's just awesome. What's everybody carrying today? Well, I have my modified throw club shank here, made it into a Warncliffe. Love this knife. What are you all carrying? Let me know. Veterans Active Military, hell of a good looking fighting knife right here. Be awesome out in the field, I bet. In any case, just want to say thank you very much for your service. Really appreciate you all. Enjoy the video. Quick specs once again. This is the Sitivien ST35 fighting knife. Overall length 11.81 inch, blade length 6.89 inch, blade material AUS-10, blade hardness 60 to 61 HRC, blade thickness 3 millimeters, blade width 1.5 inch, handle length 4.92 inch, handle thickness 0.59 inch. Handle material is a G10 with red liners. And weight of the knife is 20.8 ounces, and it features full Tang lanyard hole, Kydex sheath, and tech lock. One of the nicest looking Sitiviens to date. I love this knife. Everything about it, swedge, the mid-saber grind, the handle. I mean, it's just fantastic. Now, go check out my Legion premiere. I did a pretty detailed video on this knife, so go check that out. But real quick, let's take a look at that blade. If that's not a fighting knife, I don't know what is, man. That is fantastic. Mid saber grind. It's got a nice long swedge for some deep penetration. A sharpening choil that's very generous, that will act as a finger choil. Some very, very slight small guard, but still works pretty well, especially when you do a little bit of choking up. I've got my pointer here and my thumb right above this little nub of a guard, and it feels great. It just feels great. Handle is done very nicely. It's got that Rocky Mountain type tread or similar to it. It's just very nice. Full Tang goodness. We're going to test out the penetration with some tip testing. It does have a lanyard hole, removable scales. The Tang just protrudes a bit all the way around, but it's consistent. It's just done so nice. I really, really like this knife. It does come with this nice taco style sheath right here. I know most of you aren't going to like this red area over here. I wish it was green, except the sample that they sent me has red. You could remove this. That's the good news, okay? It does have a thumb ramp, nice durable taco style Kydex sheath, plenty of eyelet holes where you could add third-party options. Tech lock that is removable or can be adjusted for upright or scout carry. Also, there's some tabs here that could be completely removed and adjusted for your belt size. So let's just pop the knife in real quick. The sample that these guys sent me, there is no up and down play. There is no side to side play. The retention is good. I have a small log right behind me. Something pretty realistic if you're walking or hiking through the woods. And this is a knife that you decided to take, okay? I mean, even some military people out in the woods, you know, you want to enjoy, maybe have some time. You want to enjoy a little fire. You know, I think we need to test this knife out and see if it'll work out. Let's do this. I know it's not an outdoor knife. This is more fighting knife, combat knife, but I got to test it somehow. So got a nice size log. We're going to cut it up in the center right here. I need to split it anyway. Then I'll do some batoning, some V-notch batoning, and then vertical, horizontal. We're going to go through the whole gambit, okay? So I'm going to use my lanyard, but right now I'm going to use my hand towards the rear of the handle, and we're going to get started, okay? So let's do this. I've used this wood before. I think this is pin oak, P-I-N oak. Some pretty hard stuff, man. It'll test any knife out. See how it performs, you know? At least from my experience. Try and use every part of the blade. So I already feel that the handle is coming loose, that the screws come loose. Now I purposely don't Loctite it. I know that I should, but I always want to know if you're out in the field and you forget to Loctite it, is it going to come loose if you're doing some kind of work here? So, yeah, this one right here feels a little loose. I'll tighten it up once I'm done. But for right now, we got to keep on going. The balance is really nice. It's not front heavy, it's not rear heavy. At least this is my experience right now. But feels good, you know, in the hand. So I'm going to try and use every part of the blade, although this blade is pretty long, almost 7 inches. So it's going to be a challenge to try and get it all tested. But I'll try. Okay. I don't know if it's because the handle's coming loose, but I do feel little hot spots now, but the handle is loose. But as of right now, I feel just slight hot spots right here in this finger groove area. Got to let everybody know. Not really a chopper, but it's doing it. It's doing it. The blade looks good so far. I mean, I'm getting my momentum. It's just a hard piece of wood, you know? I really got to tighten these handles. They're coming loose quick. Wow. Almost there, troops. Nice. The only issue I have right now is the handle has come loose, but everything else looks really good. That edge is straight. Let's tighten this up and we'll move on. Did a good job chopping, but just to let everybody know, I do own an axe and a saw, and I would use them. But this is a channel that tests out knives, and that's what we're doing. So just keep that in mind. Knife did a good job. Let's do a little V-notch batoning. Okay. Well, we're going to do a series of batoning, right? And I'm going to use every part of the blade that I possibly can. Okay. It's a hard piece of wood for sure, man. I hope you never encounter anything like this out in the woods. This is ridiculous. Oh, by the way, I did tighten the screws, okay? just to let everybody know I did tighten the screws here. And now that I tighten the screws, it doesn't feel so bad. The hot spots, because they were rubbing my fingers a little bit, this handle, you know. Now, I got to tell you, I told a couple people, this knife is so nice looking, kind of hated the idea of testing it out, but it's a sample, you know, so I need to test it out. All right, good. That's good. That's real good. Nice. Let's keep going, man. Let's do it this way. Give some nice solid hits. My handle is coming loose again. These Chicago type screws definitely need Loctite. So make sure that you put it on, let it cure for a day or two, and then have at it, you know? Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. Little by little, we're going to have two pieces. Nice. Let's take a quick look at that edge. It looks good, man. It looks good. Okay. Try a bit of the rear of the blade now. Nice. Okay, we are almost there. We're almost there. Well, I got that there. Let me just pick those pieces up. Beautiful. Did a beautiful job. All right, so now I have this piece of wood right here. Let's see. There we go. Even with the handle loose, we are looking good so far. With sharpness. Okay, so you can see the handle is loose. So I'm going to tighten these handles. In fact, I think I'm going to put Loctite in this because these handles are coming loose no matter how. I mean, I really tightened them on there, but they came loose again. So be back. We're looking good. Let's do some vertical baton in here. I just put on the Loctite. So I don't know if these are going to come loose or not again, but I put it on there for now. Hopefully it'll slow it down. But let's process these down for a small fire. More, just trying to prevent it from falling because I hate that. Let's use the front part of the blade here. Okay, looking good. Let's see if I can get even smaller. So use the mid part of the blade. Of course, that's okay. All right, that's good enough. Let's do this one now. Very nice. One more time, let's see if I could do the extreme front here. I made it really thin. Let me try it again. This wood, the grain structure makes the knife do weird things, man. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Actually, this will be good to do a little tip testing. This one too, so these will be good for some tip testing. Let me see if I could just process this down just a bit more for everybody. Perfect, okay. I ain't worried about those other pieces, but you got the example right here, okay? You did a nice job. Let's do, before I do any kind of tip testing, let's do the horizontal batoning, and that should conclude the series of batonings with this knife. And so far, so good. I mean, okay, so we're still looking good. Let's move on. This piece from right here is from another test that I did. However, it's nice and long. I want to get the whole blade in here. I want to make quarters out of this one, possibly some feather sticks. But my point here is that I wanted to utilize the whole blade, using that edge, and then testing it out to see for the edge retention or any other form of damage. Mind you, a combat knife or fighting knife, not an outdoor knife, but it seemed to be working just fine. So, and I know a lot of you seem to be interested in this one. Nice. Okay, that's awesome. I'm just going to quarter these, I think. That edge looks good. Let's just keep on going here until the whole thing is quartered. All right, looking good, looking good. Let's do this one too. Why not? I'll probably process these off camera for the feather sticks. So not the best wood for feathering, I'll tell you. Nice. Very, very nice. Let's see. Choking up a little bit over here. It's taking off the bark in that membrane with no problem. So here you go. Okay, you can see some pain in the ass wood, man, but it's doing it. Okay, I am getting the curls that I want, but let's test it out with another piece of wood, nice dry kiln dried wood, which is this stuff right here. Let's see. And you can see the whole blade is just marked up. So okay, looking good, man. We are looking good. All right, very good, man. Going to find different species of wood and do this kind of testing now, some individual curls, feather sticks. We'll take it from there. Okay, these pieces I just processed a little bit smaller. I want to use the tip to make it even a, better feather stick right here. I'm going to split this one. This is a little bit different species. This is the same as this stuff, except this is longer. However, I thought that this might be good for some tip testing, okay? So let's do this. Nice. Okay, good example. I'm slamming this into the stump. That's looking good. Let's just keep going. A little bit thicker piece right here. The handle, with the grooves and stuff is very good, as you can see. We did go through, but very positive grip. All right, the hammer grip and the reverse, very positive. So good thrusting knife for sure for fighting in combat. God forbid you ever get into those scenarios, but you never know nowadays. If you're, a bit of a knife fighter, it might help you out to be properly trained. We're looking pretty good so far. This piece of wood is not forgiving. It is making you work for every little bit here to accomplish this task. I can just imagine some people are like, oh, just use an axe. All right, I knew I was going to do that. Okay. This is not fully cured, fully dried, this wood, but it still does the job right here. And that tip is looking good. And let's just do this one. This is that kiln dried wood. Nice. A little bit easier. The tip is pretty robust, I did use this piece to dig in with another test, but you can see right here. All right, we've got kindling or feather sticks here. Just find a side that I can safely do this. Nice. Perfect. Nice. All right, we've got, you know what, I can even do it again one more time. Okay, so if this is all you got, maybe you are a soldier out in the field and you didn't take an axe with you, and you need some kindling. All right, it did the job here. Now, let's do, actually, you know what? I did it with this stuff. I know it can do it. It'll just take a long time, and I think I proved my point. Let me just pick up those other pieces. All right, it did it. I think it did a good job. So now, let me put these off to the side right now, and let's start making a little bit of the curls here, right, to add to the fire. Right, you got to start it up. Now, I have no illusions. I understand that there's twigs, dry grass, dried pine, whatever you could think of on the ground. No illusions whatsoever, but I gotta, test out the knife. So just showing everybody what this is capable of. So you can make a big pile of these individual curls. And the spine is pretty sharp. I should have grabbed my ferro rod, which I probably will. Okay. There you go. That's one species of wood. Nice and dry, this kiln stuff. Again, an example here in Florida, if you go to one of these parks with barbecues, you can't chop any of the trees down, and they keep these parks very clean. So you would more than likely bring your own wood if that's what you wanted, or other than charcoal, and you could practice your skills. You know what I'm saying? So let's try this stuff. Now, this stuff is not too dry, but it's still a good example. You can see I'm cutting through the bark and the membrane of that bark right now. Just coming right off. No problem yet. Now this is the challenge with this wood. I think that this is a good example to show, you know, the edge retention here. You can see I'm making the curls right now. There we go. You get the idea. Not as dry as this stuff, but difficult enough because this density, this structure of this wood is so tight. I think it's a good example of showing everybody that it will still perform here. Okay, here are those curls from this other species of wood. Let me go back to this. And I understand why people rather have the dry wood, the kiln dried wood, or just dry wood in general. All right, there you go. Little feather stick, nothing big deal. Just want to show everybody that I am still making nice curls, okay? Edge still feels good. Still grabbing onto my nail. I mean, we're looking good, man. I kind of wish that this knife was in DC53 steel. I don't mind AUS-10, don't get me wrong, but I think DC53 would have been much better for this. However, it's doing the job. Let's, you know what, let me just clean this up, and I want to do another tip test and just make a divot, all right? So far, so good. I want to make a divot real quick over here. This is some wood that I've tested before. It's a nice thick piece over here, so, and dry. I want to use this tip to make a divot. I'm sure those in the military might find other ways to use this tip. I wish some of the military guys would give me some suggestions on how they use their knives out in the field. Then that would be good for testing, you know, for myself. So you can see it's making a nice divot. I want to make sure that I'm digging into the wood itself, not just the bark. Okay, there you go. See that? So now you could baton it, make a drill board for the bow drill. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have anything to light up the wood with, and you're, you know, I don't know what they teach in SEER school. I wonder if they teach you guys making fires. I'm not sure, but I know it's escape and evade, but it is survival too. So if it's cold nights, you know, you need to warm up. It'll work, right? So that's good. All right, so I did test that out. Now, what I want to test out is a little cross batoning with this piece. This is the stuff that I used to do a little chopping. and V-notch batoning and stuff like that. Let's see. This knife is pretty thin, so it should go through all the way. All right. That looks good. Oh, perfect. That looks good. Actually, I don't remember where I just did that. That cross baton. So let me just pick up that other piece and do it again, and then I want to see if I can make a little bit of shaving with it. Okay, let's try it one more time. You can see that it went right through. I'm just going to put this down on the ground, put this in my pocket so it's readily available, doesn't fall on the floor. And let's see. Okay, let me see where I'm doing this at. Okay, right there, okay. Ah, knuckles, damn it. Okay, right there is where the markings were. You can see. Okay. All right, there we go. Nice. So, looks like the heat treat is pretty decent on this knife. Because I am making those curls nice and thin. In that vicinity. All right, so looking good. I want to do some scraping now. See what happens, okay? Let me clear this off and we'll continue. Let's do a little scraping and sparking. I've got a few different pieces of wood, including something from a palm tree, the palm frond over here. You know, this stuff, listen, if it's available and it burns, why not? You know what I'm saying? Fat wood, ferro rod. So let's try the real easy stuff, which is the kiln dried wood. I don't know about easy, but the spine seems pretty sharp. It could use a little bit of a burr, but let's see how it works as is out of the box. It's doing it. It's not like it's doing it LT Wright style, you know what I mean? But it's doing it. It's going to take a little bit of work for sure, but it's doing it. So I don't want to go too long into this. You know, you're probably going to have to find an angle of what you're scraping. But a good cure is to take this onto a belt sander and make a bit of a burr. All right, so now I'm kind of curious with this palm frond little piece over here. I should have made it bigger, but yeah, just like the other piece of wood, it is not efficient. Okay, you can see it's not really digging in. It'll get there with some work, but that's a lot of expenditure of energy. So I know somebody's going to point that out. Okay, so I did the kiln dried wood. I did the palm frond. I've got another piece of wood here, a little bit different species. Let's see. It's doing it. Get this out of the way. It's doing it. It's a little bit more drier, but still not as efficient. Okay. Still not as efficient. Again, it's going to take some work with that spine, but putting this onto a belt sander will probably put a nice burr on here. And here's some real fresh wood. This is the stuff I just batoned and chopped and cut. Let's see. This one's not too bad, but again, it's not as dry as those other pieces. So maybe the moisture in the wood is helping out a little bit, but you know what? If it's gonna dry and catch on fire, you know, fine. All right, I don't want to go too long into this stuff. Let's try the fat wood. And luckily with the fat wood, it is sharp enough to definitely make a nice little pile to spark something up. Okay, and again, still not as efficient. Not as efficient as something from LT Wright or something with a really sharp spine without a burr. All right. But it still did it, not as efficient. And as always, you could make your small little curls. Now, real quick, let's see. I don't want to start a fire in my garage. I remind myself that. And I will, I'm pretty sure this will spark, but you never know. Yeah, good. Let's try the choil. Huh, not as efficient on the choil area. You have to get it at a certain angle right over here, but I would rather do it from the spine. Now you're not making that many sparks. Oh, yeah, it is. All right, good. All right, good. So yeah, that worked out well. As far as, you know, scraping some fat wood and a little bit of wood, it's going to take some effort. Again, if you have your work sharp guide, you can make a little burr, or if you have a belt sander, make a little burr if you have the courage to do so. But she sparks, so that's good news. Let's do some camp tasks. This video is going to be pretty long, so just a few items, camp tasks, some plastics, etc. Okay. This is some twine in wax. All right. Very useful out in the woods, I'm sure. I don't know if the military would use something like this or law enforcement, but it's easy. It's a good little test. Here's some synthetic rope or twine, a little bit thicker. Okay, done. And next, a little paracord if you decide to take this hiking. Well, I use this already to cut this. Easy. Okay, have a little bit more to this piece. Let's do it. Okay, good. A little bit of, and I don't have too much of this left. This is some material like seatbelt type material, except they use it for ratchets. They ratchet down ladders, etc., to vans and other vehicles, pickup trucks, etc. Easy enough to do. There's a little bit of cotton material over here. Just a small example of different types of material. Easy. A little bit of thick natural rope over here. Whoop. Okay, that was a challenge. It's sharp though, but it was a challenge. So let me see. Hold on a second. Do a little push cut here. Yeah, it did it. All right, good. Good. And now, I don't know, maybe some law enforcement, military using some materials that require plastics, although I know you guys probably have snips, you know, for whatever work that you need done. All right, there you go. There's that. Here's another little bit of plastic material. Oops. Let me do it this way. All right, easy. This is some heavy-duty twist tie. Now this maybe somebody might be tied up with twist tie and you need to, you know, cut it. Oh yeah, this is challenging. All right, it's done. And last but not least, something pretty heavy duty. Okay, let's see. All right, good. I got to tell you, it's felt like it's slipping, but make no mistake, man, this is still pretty sharp. Where did I put that piece of wood? Okay. Still pretty sharp, man. Good. Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge today. It's got a nice high grind. It still feels pretty damn sharp, but okay. I'm good with it, man. I'm happy. Using this as a fighter, I don't think the bad guy's going to care if it's AUS-10, ATS 34, 154 CM, CPM 3V. I doubt it. I doubt the guy's going to die any less. Okay, so did a good job. Let's conclude. Definitely more of a fighting knife, but it did real well. I can't even get everything in the screen. Hold on, let me zoom out a bit. Maybe you could see everything that I did with this knife. It did it pretty good. I had a little trouble at the end with some of the plastic materials, but I'll tell you, it was still sharp. Maybe it was just me, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, very capable knife. Can do the outdoors if this is something that you're interested in. That AUS-10 steel did a fantastic job. Cross batoning, V-notch batoning, just a series of bashing this knife. The only negative was the handles came loose, but I needed to put the Loctite on this one. And I guess it kind of cured a bit because the screw stayed in place finally, but pretty good job, nonetheless. All right, troops, thanks for taking your time to watch this. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you comment below. Let me bring awareness to everybody. Hashtag 22 a day, hashtag 22 a day no more. There are veterans in active military who wants to get out of the service. They do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, pause on the slides, call those phone numbers, surf those websites, get that information that you guys need. Okay? People love you. They want you around. Seek the help that you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, thanks again. At the ready, hold the line. Until the next video.